Hi, it's the end of April. No, it isn't. What am I saying April for? It's the end of October. Oh, for goodness sake. It's because the sun's shining, I suppose. It's the end of October. 2 months till Christmas. And I'm finishing off the books that I've read this month, and I have read some good ones. And I've got a 5-star that just, boo! But I will tell you about that later on. I'll keep you in suspense. What did I read? I read Olive Kitteridge by Elizabeth Strout. I've read the whole of the Lucy Barton series, so I thought it was about time I looked at Olive in more detail, having come across her in Elizabeth Strout's latest one, Tell Me Everything. And what I found is that she is not I was expecting the book to be about Olive Kitteridge, but it is, but she's not the focus of every chapter. We learn about her. We learn about aspects of her character. She's a retired maths teacher who had this scary reputation, but she has got an excellent understanding of character, and she has got a sensitivity that doesn't always come across. She's had tragedies and disappointments in her life, and she's not taken pleasure in the small joys. But I found her, I wasn't sure about her when I first started the book, but I found her a woman with a greediness for life. And I did like her by the end of it. So I now need to look for Olive again. What else did I read? I read a Miss Marple collection. It was Miss Marple short stories written by 12 contemporary writers. All of these people, these modern crime writers, bringing their own spin to Miss Marple. And you get the knitting, you get the gossip, you get St Mary's Meads, you meet Dolly Bantry again and Raymond, and this time you get taken to Hong Kong and the USA, and she's on a cruise, and they all encapsulate in some parts the Miss Marple that we know and love. For me, Joan Hickson is Miss Marple. Sorry, she is the Miss Marple for me. But there are two or three that stood out for me. Lucy Foley's story, Evil in Small Places, and Ruth Ware's Miss Marple's Christmas, and Val McDermid's The Second Murder in the Vicarage. Those were my 3 favourites. But all the others, they do encapsulate some of Miss Marple. But these 3 I thought were first class. Then, Benjamin Myers has got another one out. It came out sometime. It's come out this year sometime. It's called Rare Singles, and I love Benjamin Myers' writing. We're at a Northern Soul weekend in Scarborough, UK, Scarborough, England. And I think I've never been to any of these myself, but I think it's these places put on weekends purely with a specific type of music. It's drawing back on memories side of thing. And this time they invite Bucky Bronco. He's in his 70s. He's got an opioid addiction. He's got arthritis. And he's grieving for his wife. And Dinah in Scarborough, she invites him on behalf of the Northern Rock Society or whatever it is she belongs to come to their weekend because he had this hit that everybody loves. Dinah herself, she's in a quite a sad marriage, but she invites this legend over to UK and he accepts. And Bucky Bronco is amazed at how well known he is over here, because he only ever recorded 2 singles in his youth. He'd never even done a gig. He'd never been on stage. So here he is, in his 70s, in Scarborough, about to go on stage for the very first time. And it is a wonderful book about friendship, about second chances, and the relationship that grows between Dinah and Bucky as they talk about their pasts and their lives. And he is a super character, and I thought it was a fantastic book. Really, really did. Then I dipped into Sarah Perry again, Melmoth. I've read Enlightenment and Desik Serpent, and I saw this one in a charity shop, so I picked it up. And I enjoyed the gothic vibes to it. I know, looking at reviews, it's a book that some have liked, some haven't, but I enjoyed it. Helen has got a deep, dark secret, and she's in Prague, where she's working as a translator. And she's friends with Carol and Thea. And Carol gives her a manuscript, and then he just disappears. And it's the legend of Melmoth, which is this woman who was at the resurrection of Christ, but she denounced it. She denied it. And her punishment is to wander. And she looks for people in the deepest depths of despair. And Helen becomes haunted by this, obsessed with these manuscripts that Carol gave her about encounters with Melmoth, stories about Melmoth, all that type of thing, going back centuries. And then you've also got jackdaws. She seems to have jackdaws watching her wherever she goes. I just really enjoyed the gothic vibes to it, and you do find out what Helen's secret is. Then another arc comes out, I think it's the 7th of November, or it might already be out now, I can't remember. But that beautiful Atlantic Waltz by Malik Italak. And again, a really gorgeous atmospheric novel. It's set in Shetland, and we have 2 timelines in the Shetland Islands. Sonny is 18, and we're in the 1950s. He's a whaler. He's on a whaling ship, and you follow him. The expeditions on these whaling ships, they are really, really dangerous. And then he comes back and he settles and marries and whatever. Then we've got Jack. In present day, Jack is in his 60s. He's a solitary man. He always wanted to have to be a country music star. It never happened. But he writes country music all the time. He's got walls full of country music CDs, albums, and he still writes his own country music. And you've got lyrics interspersed with the narratives. And there's a quiet contentment in his life. He's a solitary man. He doesn't mix. But he's, in his own way, he is sort of content. And then someone leaves a box on his doorstep, and everything changes. And you have this slow building relationships, slow building friendships. And they are lovely to observe. And it's nice watching Jack's life change. And what I didn't realise when I read this is that the author has brought out an album, because he's a singer-songwriter. He's brought out an album called The Beautiful Atlantic Waltz, and it is the lyrics in the book are now in this album. So, and I wish I'd have done it, you can listen to the album while you're reading the music and get the real feel for it, which I wish I could have done, but I didn't realise until after I'd read it that this was happening. Then I read another arc, comes out on the came out on the 24th of October, Miss Beaton's Murder Agency by Josie Lloyd. And it's a cosy crime. Alice is a distant relation to Mrs. Beaton, and she runs her own good household management agency where she provides staff to wealthy households. And she sends Enya off to work for the Maisons. But then Enya is found dead. And Alice goes off to investigate. It's a little bit far-fetched at times, and I found it slow to start. And there's recipes as well, whereas the other one had lyrics. This one's got recipes. But again, a cosy crime. Yeah, you can't beat cosy crimes, can you? And so I am finishing with my 5-star, and it is John Boyne's new one, which comes out on the 7th of November, and it's the third in the Elements series. We've had earth, we've had water, and now we've got fire. And Freya, who we met in Earth briefly, she's a burns specialist, but she's a burns specialist with a deep, dark secret. She performs skin grafts. She gives people who've been badly burned their lives back almost. But she spends her time seeking revenge for what happened to her when she was a 12-year-old. And it is a wonderful book. You want to dislike her. In fact, you do dislike her. You dislike what she's doing, but then again, you can see why and understand why. She's a perpetrator and a victim at the same time. You've got the dichotomy. She's doing good in the hospitals, but then she's doing this evil. And I can't wait to see what he does in Air when he brings that out, possibly next year. Because this, an absolute 5-star. You don't want to, you don't like her, but you can't stop reading. Does that make sense? You've got the whole nurture-nature argument. If it hadn't have been for this event when she was 12, would she have been like she is now, or was it always in her nature? Fantastic book, and 5-star, my book of October. Absolutely brilliant. So I have had a really good second half of the month. I've had a good October, actually. So let's see what November and fireworks bring. So happy reading. Take care.